Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Everyday Black Men Podcast, a podcast for authentic black male thoughts. I am Riker, and I'm joined by R. Reed and Armstead, as well as our special guest, DJ All Might, the writer and the Black Libertarian, for another action packed episode. Please note, this episode was filmed way before all of the stuff in DC went down, so take that into consideration when hearing some of the information that is going to go back and forth. But in any case, and without further ado, let's start the show. And so, taking that into consideration, let's go into the next topic. Who are you most disappointed in for 2020? And
Black Libertarian.
I actually want you to start off this one because I know you got some heat.
You said what?
Who are you most disappointed in? Not necessarily any single person. It can be group, it can be race, it can be government. However you want to take it. Who are you most disappointed by, Black Libertarian?
I'm disappointed in black men.
Tell us why.
That is a surprise.
No, it's not. He hates everybody.
That
I'm
was
disappointed in black men because, you know, with all the information we got on what was done to us as a race of people, we still, refuse to fix our culture and our society. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's shit disappointing. I'm really disappointed in that. It's really it's in between that.
When you say fix it, does that mean we can't wear Jordans?
Nah,
First and foremost, are you gonna leave the Jordans alone?
He will not.
Nah, he being petty. It's indicative of what's wrong with black men. But you know,
it has nothing to do with it.
But really, I just say it's between that and just the American people for falling for COVID bullshit. But I really think black men we need to go be in these homes with these single mothers and fix the black family. I think we're doing too little with that.
That's outdated though, man. That's not a thing anymore. That's the 80s.
Hell nah, bro. What you need to leave them single mothers alone and start new families.
But that's outdated.
There's a counterpoint to that. I'm sorry, I gotta step in, Black Libertarian. There's a counterpoint to that.
Uh-oh.
I gotta step in.
He been waiting for you.
And it's gonna sound really rough, but it is what it is. And
so proper.
Yeah, the black man does need to step up his role, but at the same time, he can only volunteer to do so. But if you have a woman saying, or a black woman saying, no, I don't want you in my life, I can raise a child all fine by myself, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about if I'm in that situation. My son's mom won't let me be in my child's life, but you know, I've taken it upon myself to go find other women who do want me in their life to help me with their children and help their family grow up. And when my son ready, he can come talk to me. But we got to do something to bring the black family together. I feel where you're coming from. I'm not saying those situations. So if it sounded like that's what I was saying, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just if we have these single mothers out here who want to date us and we see opportunities, instead of starting new families, why don't we fix the broken ones we have and go from there? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I tried to help fix a single family, but, you know, I ended up with somebody else. But so lost for her, but, you know, gain for my current. So I feel you. I can definitely agree with that. DJ All Might, what is your most disappointing group? And you cannot blame it on the goddamn TikTok kids.
I'm more disappointed in the common sense of the American population because it's like they said, old Trump and Donnie Boy got how many votes? And we had the conversation.
3 million.
We had the countless conversations about, you know, just what's wrong is wrong, right is right. And the fact that we had to actually choose the less of two evils when we had all these choices and options out here. So it's just the fact that it's a first world nation. We actually, for the first time in years, lived as a fucking literal damn near third world nation because of COVID. And people are justifying bad decisions from the influence of media, social media, prioritizing everything that is wrong in this world versus what is needed. Like even with the Mitch McConnell thing saying he ain't about to send no stimulus out. It's just so common logic of the American people not getting shit right with all the fucking education in the world readily available to us from the internet to fucking libraries, like even just asking your local fucking congressman, councilman, alderman, like it's just we have too much shit at our disposal and we don't use it, and everybody want to blame everybody else. Like
that was very, very well done.
I'm gonna piggyback off of DJ All Might because mine is linked to this. If there's no objections, which I don't think there will be. DJ All Might to add to your point. I'm taking it a step up. American population, nah. Humanity. I'm very disappointed in humanity for
I
2020
expect it.
on how we dealt with everything. We do have some, bright little lights, but for the most part, it's like the night
New Zealand.
sky. You see lovely bright lights, but what's the majority of the sky? It's darkness, right? That's what I'm seeing in humanity right now. I'm seeing more darkness than light, and the little bright lights are the ones that are keeping everything alive. Why can't we be more bright? And just talking to people, and morally not even talking to people, just observing people. I'm just seeing more dark than light. They choose selfishness over selflessness. They choose, hurt over love. And it's like, really? In order for us to move forward as humanity, we got to choose a light. That's the only way we truly move forward. And Congress is just like a pseudo representation of what's going on. Because, again, back to the point of Trump, 73, 74 million people voted for this man. They approve of what he does. And it's not like the first election where people were hoping that he
You
would do
keep
better.
saying that. I need to stop there. I need to
Yeah,
stop you there.
bro,
Can
come
I
on.
just say one
You
thing? No,
go
let
ahead.
me go. Let
You
me go.
do it, Reed. You
It's
do it,
not
Reed.
that they vote for Trump. It's just that they're not voting for Biden. And people are stuck in this two-choice mindset. And I keep telling people, like, it's not about either one of them. But if I got to choose one of them, I'll choose the other one. Are you okay with that statement? Like, it's not that they approve of Trump. Like, you can't say that because you can't truly sit up here and say you really approve of Biden over Trump. I mean, he's a little better, but you can kind of go back in his history and be like, I don't know, bro.
But that's why I said we had to choose the fact that we had to get to the less of two evils.
Here's what I'm going to say to this, right?
Go
Here's
ahead.
what I'm going to say to this. I got to step in and
Let him
counter
go. Let him
argue,
go.
counterpoint, where I do agree with you. I don't like either of the choices either. When Biden went, I was like, whatever. I want to burn him. But like what Trump does is outrageous, and I'm not talking about you have the political things here. Wait, hold up. Let me finish. You have the political things here that are bad. The political things here that are bad. Biden, he has those spots too. Every goddamn politician does. And you're just basically choosing the lesser of two evils. But Trump is on a whole nother fucking scale. He's on the low. He is not even shit stuck on the bottom of your fucking shoe. He is the darkness that humanity has to offer. Our deepest, darkest spot. That's that motherfucker. And people choose him. I can understand if you're saying, you know what? I hate both candidates. I'm not voting. Or I'm going to fill in somebody else like Kanye fucking West. Right? Warranted. But 73 people voted for him and approved of what he did. Either approved or did not like Biden, but at the same time, you cannot say Biden is as bad as Trump. I'm sorry, you can't.
I
You
can
can't.
actually say he's as bad as Trump.
I'm gonna say this.
Hold on. The
I'm gonna
non-politician,
say
let him
this,
speak.
and I'm a person that,
Yeah, you're not a politician.
and I'm not really a
I'm about
person
to
who
say
really.
Arm's opinion actually
And I'm
stands
not,
out right
and
here.
I'm not a person who really knows again about politics. But what I'm going to say on that is that I don't necessarily think people are approving of what he's doing. I think they're approving
The outcome.
of something that he had that can help a person who's going for him. Like for example, like maybe some people might be voting for him because man, that stimulus check is. That's the only thing I see
Except for we ain't
positive
getting no
about it.
stimulus check.
I'm gonna vote for him because
Hell
of that.
no.
I'm pissed off
And
about that.
then
I don't need it, but I want it.
Again, but the whole point that I'm trying to say is like I don't think people are necessarily voting for him because man, he did this, he's gonna do this, and it's like damn, this guy did this. But right now I'm in this situation, so right now voting for this guy over here is gonna benefit me the most because right now I'm worried about myself.
I mean, I can see that.
But Armstead,
You know what I'm
to
saying?
your counterpoint, I do understand you, and you're right. Saying that the totality of the 73 million people that voted for him chose him and chose his way, yeah, it's not an absolute statement. But probably a good majority of those people voted for him because they actually were for him or for some type of his policy.
50 million.
But you have to understand that when you
Probably,
do vote
probably.
for a politician like that on his whole scale, and he's not even new, he's been there for 4 years, and you still vote for him again, you're approving of what he does. When you vote for somebody, you are
Yeah, and if
approving.
you
True,
vote
but
for
Like
bro,
when it
Biden,
comes
you're
to the,
approving of the bill where he put black men in jail. You're voting for Harris for what she did to
Correct.
black men. I
exactly,
mean,
Using
you're
that same
ignoring
logic.
all of these horrible things these two
exactly.
people have done and saying Trump's the worst person on earth because he
Whoa, he
curses
didn't say
people
that
out.
he was ignoring them. What he said is that if we're keeping it,
I mean, he
well, no,
basically
no,
is though.
let's keep it centered. What he's saying is that you're approving of this person by voting. So yes, by token, you're saying that 73 million people approve of the bullshit that Trump's done. He's also saying that conversely, 80 million people are overwilling to look the Biden crime bill because they hate or dislike or think that Trump is a worse candidate, which I think both of these things can be true. Neither of
I
these
think
candidates is a fucking saint, and all of them are full of shit. But if you vote for somebody, you're voting for their policies, regardless of how your feelings are.
considering what we just went through, there's no right way in saying it because we all know that the fucking wrongs and rights like don't even level out. But unfortunately, the controversy behind the political parties, from what Reed said, what people think it is only two parties when in reality it ain't. From the selection, the people that we got, to the thought and mindset of the population. That's why I said my overall disgust or disappointment of the year was people. And yes, the world to a great extent, because the world
Well, you
is
said
full of people
you
that.
said the American. I took it a step further. Now I said the
Well, no, I
American.
know I agree with that though, because I've lived in, I was in the military and I lived in other countries and stuff. But the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
their governments don't give them that freedom of decision like we have. So I stuck it to
True.
Americans because that's what I know. But even though I know theirs, I wasn't a citizen. I still was an expat or a military person, working out
Mm-hmm.
there. But the thing is, this country is so divided based off of the history and ideologies from centuries ago. It ain't decades; it's centuries ago. We
Well,
have
you
never
can.
We
prospered.
haven't evolved from
No,
that.
we
Yes.
haven't. Like
Hold on,
everybody
wait,
keeps
wait.
pointing to the civil
The
rights movement. Like
persistent
this.
neoliberalism started in the '80s with Reagan. That right there has been killing
Oh
us on
no,
both sides.
you're. I'm not going to marginalize it to the ideologies of that. I'm talking about just natural, just people being decent people, man. Like I'm
Oh,
talking
good
politics
luck.
pulled to the.
And
I'm
see,
talking
here's my
politics.
issue with humanity, DJ All Might. Like what you're saying is true, and it's like American has been we've had the ability to express it. But if you look at humanity and what we've done, when we first voted for Trump and got him in office, like if you look at candidates that were very similar to Trump, they won around the world. Italy, their
Yeah,
president, he is
London,
extremely far right. London, yeah, and he's
yeah,
really bad because he's
yeah.
a smart Trump. And then not
But
only that, then when you look at like Brazil, their president, oh my God. And he's
he makes
similar to
Trump look
Trump too
like
with his
he's
rhetoric.
hey,
nothing.
But
hey, but the writer,
he's a religious nut. And I'm like,
writer, but the
we
history of this.
triggered a chain reaction in the darkest part of humanity. That's why I say with
Did we?
Trump, he
Did we?
it, we
No,
it
man,
was always
you're
there, but
No.
we approved it to be forefront. That's
The
what
reason I
I'm
asked that,
disappointed in
the
America.
reason I asked that is this country was basically the bastard child of all those countries you're just speaking of, though.
Agreed. But
This
we
is the
became number
melting pot.
one because of our ideals.
Yeah, we're the melting. But this is the thing. They sent. If you look at history, like they sent their worst over here first. They didn't send their best from the UK, and then people
I mean,
migrated
look,
when
just
they
because
saw
they
what we
send
were
all the
allowed to do.
sluts and
Yeah,
the
like
killers and
so.
the
Oh, hold
The
on, hold on,
thing
hold on.
is, America is
Y'all
the
are,
bastard child of Europe. We're the bastard child of Europe. It is what it is. Like, just let's call it what it is. And then us as blacks being here, we're fucking. I don't even want you to call. We were a commodity that somehow made its way to a more or less. How do you how do you even put it? Because we're still a commodity. I mean, we're still slaves in some extent. If you want to go with the whole fucking route of theoretically being correct on that, but we are not a well-oiled machine. We're just something that's been unstably operating to the point where people want to live here because the freedom to progress is just so much easier than everybody else's homeland. Because America is just the second home to everybody else's escape from their imprisoned nature of the politics of wherever they came from.
I don't think Trump is as bad as he's being made out to be. Like, god damn, like I voted for him the first time. And when you look at
oh, that wasn't even a. We didn't even guess
You didn't
that.
have to
We would
say
have
that.
known that. we knew based
no,
on your beliefs you
Hey,
voted
no,
for him.
no. First off, but let me tell you, before you talk, y'all niggas be cyberbullying the shit out of this man. I will antagonize, but y'all look. I get what he's saying. Like y'all be Riker, you mean the shit, man. That's all I'm saying.
no, I'm just
Man,
saying, like
we
you
have to
got
have a
a
conversation.
woman,
He knows.
you got a woman who went to Haiti and destroyed an entire civilization. Like times were already bad with what Bush did, with what Hillary did, with what Obama did. Times were
Every
already bad. It's just because you
every
don't know it's bad doesn't mean it's not bad. What Trump did is he brought the shit to head, and now you see it, and you're like, "Oh, this is horrible. He's the worst." Like, no, bro, this
he's
has
the
been a
most
shit
recent.
I'm
show.
all
He's the most
right, all right,
recent
all
though.
right. Here's what I'm gonna say about Trump versus all the other presidents, right? All the other presidents that we've had, Obama, Bush, Clinton, the Bush before that, they would have never let a pandemic get as bad as
The
H1N1.
failure of government.
Trump
But there was
is
that pandemic task
First
force that
of
he
all,
fired
one
though, man. You
out
got
of
to
ooh,
get
all the
acknowledge
previous
that.
presidents.
You got to acknowledge that.
did nothing and okay, the first,
Pandemic is a failure of
the
government.
first, and now we have what we have now. So
Correct.
you know, and I know what probably are you gonna, or you might have counter arguments to Trump being responsible for this
Oh, I
pandemic.
don't.
This motherfucker is responsible for this
Oh, yeah.
pandemic.
It
I do
always
not
comes
care
from the top
what anybody
down.
else says. This is
What
a
pandemic?
fucking fact. It is
What pandemic?
COVID. He's responsible for COVID going
No
around
more people
the
died
world.
this year.
He's
Hold on.
responsible.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And no more people died this year.
Oh, he's not.
Yeah,
No
he's
more
not.
people
I
died
agree.
this
I want
year
to hear
than.
this.
Hold on.
I want to hear why he's not.
Time out.
I'm
You'll
going to tell
hear
you
it.
why he is. Go ahead.
Calm down.
Why is he not?
It's not even a pandemic. No more people died this year than they did last year from diseases. It's overhyped and it's ridiculous. Calm down. The
Oh,
First
what
and
so you're
foremost,
saying
it's
that
not overhyped.
COVID in
That's
itself is
definitely
a
overhyped.
Secondly,
conspiracy.
it's overhyped.
No, he's not saying a conspiracy. You're taking his argument out
Oh,
of context.
I'm taking it, but you're saying it's overhyped. Okay, go ahead.
No, he's saying it's overhyped. No, that's his argument. He's saying no more people died.
I
I've heard
disagree.
that.
It's
I've
not.
heard
It's
that
not
thing.
overhyped because, hey, I'll say this. I experienced it within my family. I had one uncle die of COVID-19, and my mom, my middle brother, and my dad all had it. My dad even had to go to the hospital and get IVs and shit. He has respiratory problems. He has diabetes and shit. I didn't. I ain't gonna say I took it loosely because I felt like I was healthy. But when you see it hit your family in some way different, I don't know how to read this shit because obviously there's information that we're not getting. And I'm speaking from the side of being somebody that worked with the government and even somebody that's not a part of it. There's
Oh no,
always a
there's
level
definitely
of
that.
fucking information that we don't know. The shit we know, we're talking about shit that they provided to us to talk about. This
Well,
shit is
you can
way
take it
more
to just Trump.
serious.
You can take it to just Trump. Trump knew how
Yeah.
bad, how it spread through the air way before everyone, and
Yeah.
he
I
chose to
mean,
downplay it. That's I
but
think that is
It is
encapsulated the
downplayed.
difference.
here's
Again,
The death
the thing
rate.
that is
though.
the
The
difference
death rate is
between
no
Trump.
higher. The death
But
rate
Sir,
the
is
it's
no
thing,
not just about
higher.
the death rate because you have to live with it. 71 million people have that shit right now.
so
You have to
he's
deal with the common
71.
I'll
cold.
say
You have
this.
to
As
deal with
much as
the
you,
AIDS
Sir, the
right
common
now.
cold doesn't have respiratory problems for you
yeah,
later
that's
on.
true.
There are still people right now.
Yo, they said that
I
about
know someone right now who cannot lift a fucking plate, cannot lift more than a fucking plate. There's never been a disease that's like, hey, you know what? You can't lift shit anymore. You're fucking
AIDS.
done.
they said that
AIDS.
about Debo though. Debo actually had COVID symptoms early in the year, and he's been suffering through it throughout the year. That's when ultimately he started getting through symptoms again. It came back around, and he's
Shouldn't have
older. He
been.
was like in the 60s. Like
I mean, yeah.
we
I mean, pre-existing
that's a
conditions,
clear example.
COVID kills you on
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
if
you
you
got
have,
pre-existing conditions.
I mean, anything can kill you if you
60%
have
of
pre-existing.
Americans have pre-existing conditions. So yes, I get that it doesn't affect you, and for you, it's overhyped and overblown.
Black
But for
libertarian,
most of
but
the
I mean,
rest of us, including blacks, this is a problem. And the difference between Trump and Bush is Bush will tell you one thing, but Bush gave y'all parents 2 rounds of stimulus checks after saying that the recession thing was overhyped. He gave 2 rounds. You can again, that's the difference between a Republican and Trumpism. Is that a Republican is willing to not admit
yeah,
that they're wrong, but they're gonna meet you on the back end.
You see,
that's something that people don't understand. That the difference between a Republican and Trumpism is a big thing. Like that's what I've been arguing with folks for the longest. There's a difference between a Trump supporter and a Republican.
Let me tell you something,
and
man.
but I'm trying to like get to the point of the response to this
You
stupid
need
ass
to blame the
pandemic.
CCP. You need to blame the CCP.
Who says we
It should have
don't
never
though?
left China's. It should
No,
have never
no. Who
left China.
said we all knew that China ain't shit?
No,
And
no,
this
no.
shit
He said
proves
we
it.
need to blame. He said
I do
the
agree.
word.
I do agree. China, they did their part, and it was wrong. But it's typical of China. But it was wrong, right? But
It shouldn't
here's
be
the difference
accepted.
between
You're saying it's typical, like
Whoa,
it's
whoa, whoa.
accepted.
We're not accepting it. But trust and believe.
yeah.
We would love to not have niggas make shit in China, and I really hope our corporations start making shit in India because fuck China. But at the same time, nigga,
How about bringing that shit to America?
But here's
I
the
mean,
problem with what happened because it started in China, and let's say if it started anywhere else around the world. If it started anywhere else around the world, still, boom, it still would have spread like wildfire. Still would have done it. The reason why it spread was because China failed to act and get on it immediately. But at the same time, too, there was no other voice to talk to China saying, hey, look, this is a problem. Can we help you? Let's help you and let's get this under control.
Let's simplify
Every
it
other
though.
country that we have
Let's
had
simplify
a
it.
problem in there. America was like, yo, what's up? We here. Who organization? We right here too. Let's get this under control. Who? They were battling a whole bunch of other stuff. So they even warned China. China was like, whatever. Americans' pressure dictates a lot when it comes to public health. And I mean a lot. We are the number one exporter of public health in the world. Who and us? Everybody else is like secondary and tertiary. So that's
When
why
did
I
China,
say
dude?
with
The
Trump,
virus was around before
he
China
did
knew about
not
it, man.
act when it was a problem. And we knew a lot about COVID before it fucking spread.
China
Trump,
helped out with it.
China really did help out with it because they were like, fuck it, whatever. Shut up, you're causing us money issues. China did their typical response. Wrong, but it's typical of them. I expect this of them. I've seen it happen before and before and before. The difference between China and it doing its thing and us, if we would have put pressure on them, they would have conformed. We did not. So then it became a pandemic. That's why I blame Trump. Trump did not
Was
put
the
the pressure. And
H1N1 a
then this
pandemic
motherfucker
though?
love to talk about
Yeah,
China
but the
and
thing
how they
is,
building shit.
hey, but they were chastised. They were actually judging and talking ill of Obama doing the H1N1 thing. We're talking about it in past tense, but the real thing is, it was something that was actually being discussed, especially through the Fox News media and everything like that, where they were talking shit about him. The thing is,
Oh,
also,
that was Ebola. That wasn't H1N1. H1N1 was Bush.
it was Ebola. Well, all right, cool.
Ebola was Obama.
I was in Iraq when H1N1 kicked off. So, but fucking the thing I was about to simplify about the Trump thing is, everybody wants to blame him. Just like you go to Walmart, you pissed off that you got a shitty employee. You want the manager. That nigga's the fucking commander in chief of the company. I mean, of the country. You want to hold the person that is at the highest office accountable because of the experience that you're having as somebody, as a citizen in this country. That is his
Correct.
job. That is what you volunteered to do. I'm sorry. You want to give him a fucking pass because you know you're intelligent enough to know what the intricacies of everything is. But unfortunately, if your ass was in charge of where you're at, people don't want to hear about the employee. They want to hear what the fuck you gonna do as the person in charge.
There's
Agreed.
nothing to do about this
You finish
pandemic. It is what it is. It is what
That's
it
a
is.
stupid way of seeing it, though, man.
And DJ Almighty just told you what it is.
That's
It's about that head saying, "Well, we."
that's the thing. You can't
What are you gonna do about
voluntarily. You
cancer?
can't
About
But
what
you're
are you gonna
taking
do
it.
about cancer,
Out.
AIDS, and
You're
corn? No,
you're
I'm not
arguing.
taking it out of context because
Yes,
what
you
I'm
are.
saying is
Because we're talking
listen.
about this specific
context
disease.
is everything,
We don't
bro.
give
Listen,
a
hold
fuck
on.
about AIDS. We don't give a fuck about cancer. We're
Why?
saying this
Why?
because
Why?
this is the thing we're talking about.
We should have
Go
never
ahead.
shut down in the
Okay.
first place, right?
Do you
We should have
know?
let
Do you know
nature do.
what the?
Well, no,
Have
no,
you
no,
seen
no, no.
what's
That's at least
happening?
that's at least on point. Continue.
We should have never
Finish.
shut down in the first place, right? We should have let nature do what it does because nature's always done what it does. This is going to happen,
Do you know the result of nature doing what it does?
No. That is that it? Because we can go.
Let
We can
finish your
annihilate
point.
it after that. I just wanted to let him finish.
bro. You got to also understand from the position of a government, right? That the first videos that came out of China were showing this disease as people dropping dead in the street. That never happened over here. It looked like a psyop from a military point of view. Y'all have to understand that it looked
Oh
like a
yeah.
psyop. So
So
if it looks
those
like a psyop, hold
trucks
on.
that were filled with dead bodies in New York don't mean nothing.
No, this is before that. This is last August. That's what I'm telling you. I've seen about this since last August. I've been saw this. So in last August, there were dead people just falling in the street in Wuhan, all the way off from August to October. They didn't know what it was.
That's when it was called the
No,
Yeah.
this is
Wuhan flu.
before it was called
The
any of
Kong.
that.
It was the
Nobody,
Kong
they
flu.
thought it was the
Or Kong
common
flu.
cold.
Kung flu.
Yeah, they did think it was a common cold.
Oh.
Well, no,
They
let's phrase
thought it
that.
was a common cold. So
The
the point I'm
average
trying to,
person over there thought it was a common cold because the CCP knew since like what was that, June?
well, they said they knew since June, right? But my point is that from
I
our
thought it was the
perspective, the
summer.
videos they were sending us looked like a psyop. So you got to understand from Trump's perspective, he doesn't know if this is real or not. He doesn't want to shut down business
Oh,
That
and
you
the
can't give him
economy.
that
but DJ
bill.
Omar, I
You
got
can't
this one.
give him
I
that
got this one.
bill.
DJ
I'm
Omar,
not
I got
giving
this
him
one. I
that
got this one. I
bail.
got this
I'm just saying, look at it from a different perspective because you got to understand our stock market is too overinflated. The
one.
minute
All right,
we
now,
stop,
all right.
oh,
So
go ahead.
you're saying that because of the propaganda in the media, so what he was paying attention to, he thought it was fake and he dismissed it. Here's my counter argument. He is the president of the United States. That man meets with the experts on the issues. A panel
But
of experts met with him. And I think his first
when?
report that he got was, in October of 2019, saying, hey, look, this is what's going on in China right now, and we recommend that we get there. Then a panel came to him and was like, okay, look, we're telling you this is an issue from our research that we have gathered, and we send people over there to do research. This is what's happening. This is what we recommend. He said, no. This man is the president of the United States. He does not get normal information like me and you get. This man
Okay.
has people. He is government. entities go out there to get the information and come back to him, and they give them reports.
Can I ask
These
you
are
guys
reports
like the
that are
ultimate point? Because
What's
I feel
that?
like we all are escaping this. I feel like I get it. The buck stops with Trump, but can we all agree that this is just a failure of government? Period. Like
It is.
Well,
it
yeah,
just shows
yeah.
our
It needs to be
government.
the
That's
government,
yeah,
though.
it's a
That,
failure of
that's the
government.
that's the thing that we
Yeah,
can agree on. It's a
definitely.
failure of
Yeah, it's a failure
government,
of government.
regardless of where you want to throw the
Yeah.
blame
Right.
on this. But I
Because I
think
don't
that's
care
the
who was in troll. I think it would have got just as bad. And to me, I believe,
No,
bro.
no.
well,
This
no.
is
But
this
now
is where I
now we're
disagree.
going with theoreticals.
No, what I'm
Yeah.
Here.
saying is how
Let's keep the
infectious it is.
facts.
The
Well,
infection
no.
rate compared to
I'm not
H1N1.
dismissing.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not dismissing you, Reed. I was talking to
The writer.
Ryder.
Ryder.
Yeah. So Reed, continue. So you think it would have gotten this bad if
I don't
anyone
know
had
about this. What I'm saying is it would have been bad. Not H1, because y'all brought up H1N1. I was like, this is way more infectious than H1N1.
Yeah.
But you're the
This
guy
is
with
the
the
worst
Yeah.
disease that we've seen that has this is the because it's how it works. And as a public health professional, yes, this is
yeah,
the worst out of all of them. But out of
correct.
all of the things that we've
I
seen,
don't know, man. Ebola been pretty
no,
bad, man.
no, Ebola's bad, but to be Ebola's
Ebola.
bad, but to be honest, you have to be in a
but
very
I
specific
mean,
place to get
it's not
Ebola.
as infectious
It
as
doesn't.
COVID.
I mean, what's
No.
the survival rate on Ebola
Ebola is
versus
pretty challenging. But
Corona?
see, here's the thing about
Ebola doesn't
Ebola.
live
Ebola
centuries,
does not
man.
spread
Correct.
when you fucking sneeze, okay? Like it
Yeah.
took more to get infected by Ebola.
Yeah.
I think Ebola was a bacteria versus a
Virus.
virus.
And can
Yeah.
I ask y'all? I didn't ask y'all a second question. We need to talk about this on the podcast. I don't know if we should do it this week, but we need to talk about how we're gonna do this vaccine. That's
Well, no. Vaccine cards aside, because I'm still here for Black libertarian side business because I support all Black side businesses, regardless of how bullshit I think they are.
I want to up down vote, and then I got a second question to follow that.
Well, the up down vote is I'm not doing it in 2021. I'll see you niggas in 2022 or 2023. I'm letting white folks work it all out.
Look, man,
Next.
I've been injected with 13 years worth of shit that I had no say so in, including the 20 some odd shots that are part of the series of anthrax shots. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be real with
Okay.
you. I've been like I had no say so in the injections that I was getting for my entire Air Force career for over 11 years.
So you
So
came from a different perspective. That's great, though.
yeah,
I
no, I'm
think
just
people like
saying,
to hear
like, I'm
that.
not gonna be first in line for the vaccine because since now in my position now, I have a say so in the vaccines I want. When I was a contractor, even I had no say so because I was an expat and they make you get shots. You have to get a flu shot. You have to do all that.
Correct.
Since I am now a civil servant, I don't have to do that shit, and I'm not getting flu shots. I'm not getting the vaccine for this. I feel like I had the
I
antibodies
mean,
and
you got
whatever
like
shit.
8 years of flu shots in you.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have so much in me already. I'm not getting anything else that's not mandated.
Okay, that was my second question. Do you think they're going to mandate it?
No, I think so.
I don't
All
think they're
right,
going to mandate it at first. I
legally,
think other countries will.
it's a challenge. Other countries will, but to a certain extent, but it's a legal challenge. And especially with our country, like when it comes
Mhm.
to schools and certain agencies that are required to do certain things, they can probably require you to. And I know in
They
hospitals,
stopped it at 16, so that'd be
they
high school students.
probably can.
Yeah.
No, because at certain schools, like if you go to college right
Well, we're
now,
not talking
right?
about preppy white schools, all right?
No, but I'm talking about schools in general. I'm talking about if you go to college, right? They do ask for your paperwork, and you have to have certain things, certain shots.
College over 16. We're talking
Yeah,
about like I heard of a middle school doing it, but when I looked into it, it was a specific middle school that you had to pay money to. And I'm sorry, nigga. I mean, you already part of the 1% at that point. So what
But
are you
again,
crying about?
when it comes to certain facilities, they'll be able to mandate it. Others not, like general working, they're not gonna be able to mandate it. So it's going to be a challenge. Overseas, they work differently, and I know
Mhm.
like with Europe. But again, Europe's system is still complicated too. So even though the vaccine is going to be out, the question is, have you had the vaccine or not? And then again, if you want
Well,
to travel, and that next year or the year after can be a thing, did you get the vaccine? If not, man, they're gonna be on your. They're gonna be on
my
you
Well,
like
they can
right
always
away.
my
hit up
my old
the taboo truth rel if they need to get that vaccine card.
Yeah, I got the
my
cards for y'all, bro. I sell y'all the cards, man. It's $85,
Don't
but
tell them what
look,
don't tell them what the cards
hey,
are. We're
my
not doing
my
business
old
here, but they can reach out to you.
my old lady works at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna make
And
them
Not
they
do it.
Teladoc.
do they're do no, they're not actually.
They
She
can't
said that
make
they're
them
doing a
legally.
survey
They can't.
that they want to know who is and who isn't, and they're asking them to explain why not, but they're not making them do it.
they making my homegirl who works at the hospital. She's got to do it. They're making her do it in
Oh yeah,
California.
yeah. But see
That's crazy.
the difference is they need nurses so bad where all might live that they have to give a survey. In Atlanta, they don't need nurses. In Atlanta,
No.
you're going to be in there.
They need nurses in Atlanta. Quit playing.
Not as
They
bad.
do.
Not with the travel nurse. We have travel nurse money. Where he lives, they don't have the ability to get travel
That
nurses.
is true too.
Yeah, South Carolina ain't got it like that.
No,
South
they
Carolina
don't.
ain't got money for shit. Like I
No.
remember looking into like elder care. What you got to pay for elder care in South Carolina is literally what we could live off of as a group and have a nice mansion.
Yeah. No, she tells me about the conditions of what they live in. Yeah, he ain't lying. They struggle.
Yeah.
They still in the slavery times out here, though.
To get a nurse to come home with you got to basically own plantation. You have to have owned niggas in the past in order for you to have actual care in an actual facility outside of the old nursing homes where you're going to die. I mean, we don't talk about those, but they're death farms, and that's just what it is and what it ain't. Reed, did you have a third point?
I'm just curious to why they stand because I feel like there's this. I don't know if y'all saw Dr. Fauci talking about, well, a black woman helped develop it. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Like
But
a black
they
person
gotta
helping in
pander, man. They
development
gotta pander.
doesn't. I mean, yeah, Fauci's just trying to retire good, and I can't even blame him.
It's just like Biden showing that most of his administration is women and fucking minorities, man. They gonna pander, man. We gonna get politics out of this.
But the
Like,
difference is he said women and minorities. He just didn't tell y'all which race the women were.
yeah, and what positions they actually hold.
Exactly. Because the people were shouting up and down about that black lady, and then I looked at what her position is, and it's like
Yeah.
she has no actual control. She's basically the secretary, and y'all are hooping and hollering. And then when they figured that out, yeah, that was when the black libertarian meme is so poignant, where it's like Black Lives Matter getting thrown out of the Biden Harris SUV because that's literally what they did. They hit
So
y'all with the okie doke.
no, I'm sorry. You can go ahead. No, I was saying that's where my disappointment comes from because we talked about it a few episodes ago with the ignorance being bliss thing, and I feel like so many people are so cool and comfortable being complacent from all walks of life, black, white, whatever you want to call it. They don't care to look up the just a
Ideology.
small glance. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
your
that's
ideology
one
don't
thing
matter. We
we have these
because they're
phones in
not
our
being
hands at all
idealistic.
times. Yeah,
Correct.
like and
Because your ideology matters. That's why I was like
yeah,
looking at people booting for Harris. I'm just like, bro, she's not on your team.
Well,
I
the thing
don't
about
care.
it is, it's one thing for you to be like, this is better than Trump, but if you take it to the next level, being like, I'm
Out.
so glad that she's going to be doing things. It's like you realize she's a
yeah.
vice president, right?
Right.
Like
But
vice.
they don't understand that. Like they didn't even like people don't even know that before the vice president was the person that lost the presidential election.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
people
Like
people
back
forget
in the
that
day.
historical
but
context.
again, that outside of education, that's just again, we all are I think this collective of who we all run into and talk to and interact with are a collective of people that are curious and just so happen to be black. Regardless of what walk of life we're from, we all actually bother to do some form of fucking research to what
I
we're
feel like
talking about.
you're making the point that Black Libertarian was making, but you're making it now because strategically you wanted to win the earlier argument.
Look, you don't know me, all right?
You don't know me.
Because this is literally what Black Libertarian was trying to say is like we need to look at
am I
things
manipulating?
out.
Look, but it brings it around too because I kept telling the black libertarian, you got to be manipulative when how you talk to people, man.
Correct.
Oh,
It
Because
no,
ain't.
he
no, but
does.
he hates that part. He hates that part of
I know.
politics.
But that's the game.
That's
That's
I
not
the
the
mean,
game.
game.
yes,
That's just
but
you
he
all
hates that
being
part of the game.
sociopaths. You're
No,
sociopaths.
People
bro.
want to
That's
bro,
like
people want to
politics.
believe it's their idea. They want to believe the shit that you're telling them is their idea. They
I
don't
mean,
want
that's
you to come up with the
literally
idea. They don't
literally in
want
the
you to.
best book of all time,
Yeah.
which is
Bro,
How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's
Donald,
literally like make it someone else's idea.
They say Donald Trump is a liar, but like to be honest with you, he's no more of a liar than any other president that's been up there.
He's a non-politician in a political position. He
Correct.
is
Correct.
exactly what he promised. He is somebody that don't know shit about politics that is gonna step in this fucking position and handle it in the worst way possible. He's gonna say the
Because
wrong things. It is what it is. I'm sorry,
like
go
if
ahead.
you would give an example, like Nancy Pelosi in his quote unquote stimulus argument, she was like, "Well, we're not going to go because we got the Heroes Act here." And now they're arguing up there about what they want to do now as far as the second stimulus. And she ain't even mentioned the Heroes Act again or anything.
Well,
I was
she
like,
mentioned the Heroes Act because Mitch McConnell said that it was going to be dead, but that's political theater. Is that like she honestly would have been in a better position if she had been willing to negotiate more of the
she should
Heroes
have
Act.
took Trump first deal. Now she's
Well, no,
trying to
Trump's
negotiate
first deal wasn't great though from
that.
her
No, the one for
standpoint because
1.6 billion.
no, the 1.6 billion I'm saying is not great for her standpoint because remember a lot of the people that rally behind Pelosi and put money into her pockets are cities in cities and local governments. They're the people who do the anonymous donations, which ironically they won't be able to do anymore because of that new law that Trump inadvertently passed, which is going to allow it to where you can no longer make your LLCs owners invisible anymore. So a lot of people are going to lose business, but we haven't been talking about that, and we'll have to
I didn't
circle
know
back
about
to
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was actually really surprised that even passed because
yeah.
now all LLC owners, whoever actually owns it, has to be given, and they want to put it in a database. So once you make LLC owners searchable, a lot of people are going to lose business because you're going to start seeing a lot of these little small things that you thought was such and such or owned by such and such or really owned by people you would never want to give your money to.
Good. I told you
I mean,
Trump
no,
does a
it
lot of
is
good
it is
stuff.
good. It is good. But I think the argument about Trump and how we need to change or sorry, the argument about Trump is that he's a non-politician in a political role. And the problem with that is that to a certain extent the finesse of being president is the Obama thing, not necessarily being as articulate as Obama, but being able to lie to people and say, yeah, man, we're going to do this. We're going to do the third thing. And then making a young RE disillusioned with politics when there's no public option, but you campaigned on that shit. You talked about that shit. You said in your first inaugural speech you're going to do that shit. And then you turn right around and said, well, I mean, politics. That's the part of it that you don't like. And
But
I get it.
Obama proved to white people, even though it wasn't the white person that did it, but JFK did it first and Clinton did it afterwards. Charisma will get you anywhere in America. Yeah,
And technically to an extent that
Yeah.
people don't want to say, Trump. Trump is charismatic. I don't necessarily agree with it, but he's charismatic.
He's the
And you
other.
don't have to
He's the
agree
other
with
side
it.
of the spectrum. He's the other side of the spectrum. He's the non. So he's not. What's the word we call it? Smooth or suave. He's not suave.
No, he's not suave. He's
Yeah.
not smooth. He can't speak very well, but he can rile people up at critical moments,
He
which is
has masculine
exactly what you want.
bravado.
Yeah, he has a lot of
Yeah.
bravado,
Yeah.
and he
He
will
doesn't
sit
even
behind
own up to
stuff.
his mistakes, and that's like the number one thing in America. Like we are so proud that we don't have to acknowledge the mistakes we made, and his
What's your point?
following just believes in that. Like, I mean, just like when we bullshit with each other, from all of us having disagreements, it ain't about to acknowledge me fucking up, nigga. Yeah, you right. I guess I ain't about to say I was wrong. You right, but I ain't
Exactly.
wrong.
I go,
You know,
yeah, you're right, but I ain't wrong. But
it's
that
kind of like
actually
that.
takes me into the next part, which is the final piece here, because I want you niggas to go home to your significant others and whatnot. Which is, what are you most proud of in 2020?
Who going first?
I guess nobody
I'll
proud.
go.
Wait, say that. Say what you say again? What do you say?
What
Wait,
group
say it
of
again.
people or thing are you most proud about, Armstead?
Well, some of us didn't get to go last time, so I guess the ones who didn't go last time, we'll just
I
start out
mean,
with like,
you got like 6 questions off our read. I don't even want to hear shit.
no, about your most like person or whatever of the whatever,
Yeah,
Yeah, the first question
yeah.
you just asked.
Oh, you want to do your most disappointed? I mean, I think Black Libertarian covered it. What you were gonna say, but please surprise us.
No. My most disappointing person would be Barack Obama. You fucking shill.
I'm not shocked.
I see who you are. You punk ass nigga.
Nigga just wanted to say it. This nigga just wanted to say it on the podcast. This nigga just on the podcast wanted to
No, to
diss
be honest with you,
Obama.
You
it's Bernie
ain't
Sanders.
shit.
I realized something about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is the leader we want, but he ain't got no fight in him. Like he just
Correct.
he don't fight. Like
He's the
he too
leader
much
we
of a
I'll
want,
give you
quitter.
that. I'll actually give
but
you
he
that.
quits
He
quick.
does not fight.
Yeah, he ain't got no fight in him.
The
Like he
nigga
should have
is
fought to the
1,000
end.
years old, man. He ain't got that type. Look, he gonna either have to fight or live. The
He didn't
nigga
injure
comes to
his fucking
live.
leg playing. Bernie Sanders didn't injure his leg playing with the dog, nigga.
Yeah,
Right.
and he had a
Oh
heart attack.
man. You can only get that nigga so much.
He survived a goddamn heart attack and was like, I'll be on the campaign field in a week, and did that shit. Whereas Biden broke his goddamn foot.
Hey, Ari, I think you would be like the ideal Pop Warner football coach because you ain't gonna let them little niggas fail for shit. Oh, you got a
Punch him in the
broken leg,
face.
bitch? Huh?
I'm gonna
Oh
punch him in the
man, shit.
face.
Wasn't he in Atlanta? Wasn't he in Atlanta?
Yo, speaking of that,
Yeah.
did y'all
Yeah,
see
we did.
that?
That's
He,
what we're talking about.
he got
Oh
That
arrested for
shit
man.
child
was
abuse or some
terrible.
shit.
I mean, he deserved to get arrested for child abuse
I
because
mean, I
he
hear
let his
you,
ass
but
he let that
it's
shit get filmed.
football.
He let that
No,
shit
but that
get
was a
filmed.
full blown swing. That was a grown man against a fucking kid that's like not
I
even
mean,
10.
I agree. You shouldn't like. I guarantee that was a
And
single mother child.
not only
Correct. Correct. You
yeah,
proved
yeah,
every
You know
single
what?
mother right.
Hey, by the way, I know we
yeah.
late on it, but I forgot.
Either that or the coach was probably smashing him.
Nah,
Who
I mean,
was the
nah,
one?
probably not.
I forgot to touch on the single mom thing. I tried the single mom thing. with somebody. I ain't gonna say where she was at before this relationship, and I literally only broke up with her because I hated her youngest. That nigga was 6. I didn't like that nigga. The 9-year-old was cool, but the 6-year-old was manipulative. I know it because I watched him do it. And that nigga is gonna grow up to be a fucking full blown fuck nigga,
Psychopath.
sociopath, or politician. He's gonna be one of those 3.
That's
Which
good.
is which of 3 do you think he's most likely to be?
He's gonna be a goddamn sociopath, boy. That he's gonna be a fuck nigga on somebody's couch because he's
Can you
totally
admit that you don't like people's children?
no. I do like people's children. I ain't
No,
gonna
no,
No,
lie.
I'm
no, no.
saying
Can
like
you
if you're
admit?
dating
Can you
someone.
admit?
Oh no, you can't.
No, he's
Because
no.
when I look
Yeah,
low
he's
key
asking.
when I broke up with her, I told her it was the distance. I ain't gonna.
So you
I ain't
lied to
telling
her?
you. I'm not telling nigga. You cannot tell a single mom that it's the kids because you about to open up a box of even from a distance. That's a conversation you don't want to have.
The box, the can,
Dog,
Pandora's box.
I don't
man,
like your
like that.
goddamn kids. That'd be fucked up.
Real shit, like real shit. And I'm taking it from a perspective of a nigga that has a stepdad that came in when I was 14 and my little brother was 4. And I thought I could do it. And that was not the case because
Not
it
the
all depends
case.
on how you raise your
God
it all
damn.
depends on how the woman raised the kids. Real shit. And she was a good woman. All that shit. I ain't gonna she wasn't wrong with her. It's just that she was one of those black folks too fucking focused on not or giving what is it? They say, I want to give them all that I didn't have, but you
Hmm.
forget that you had discipline.
I had a homie who didn't talk to girls with kids, period. And now he talking to a girl with a kid. I'm just like,
No, Reed,
bro,
how old is he? How old is he?
he's 33.
He's our age. Yeah.
Okay,
Or
all right. There you go. I was 33. I had
it's
that same
me.
fucking rule.
It's
I
me.
was the
It's me.
same fucking rule.
It's me. He doesn't have to say I have a homeboy. It's literally me.
Bro, I
Like
wasn't gonna call
real
you
shit.
out.
No,
He wasn't gonna call you out like that.
but
Where's
no,
Tatiana? We
I would.
need
That's the age.
black libertarians anger translator here.
But she
And
look, I get you though. When you a nigga that got shit going for you, you really do like put that to the side until like you get to an age where you're like, you know what, man, I gotta open up my options, and you give it up. And when you do, it might not work in your favor.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
I
that's
was
So
true.
I
Say
just I
that one more
find it so
time.
weird that this nigga changed everything. I want kids. I'm just like, oh my
Well, no,
God,
no, I
bro.
don't find it weird. I think that that's actually a sign of growth and maturity is that you
it is.
change instead of staying the same person. Because even if you do the reverse, if you wanted kids and then you start hanging out with single mothers, and you're like, I ain't doing this shit. I would still see that as growth and maturity because you're like, look, I tried this shit. I hate it. I'm not doing it. Because too many people being the same nigga they were in high
Oh,
school,
it's
and it's
not
like
working,
part
man.
of growth is that you say, you know what, I want these things. So I think on your
Facts.
second go around, you're gonna have a nice woman who's gonna be the kind of woman that men want, conservative, and you're gonna do well, Black Libertarian.
Also,
I'm
Black
rooting
Oh,
for
Liberty,
you.
I'm gonna tell you as a nigga in this when I'm 35 now, you will find a woman without kids and whatnot, but she's gonna talk a lot. A
what you mean
lot.
she's gonna talk?
She's gonna talk. She's gonna have her own opinion, and she's not gonna be toxic, but you're gonna learn a lot about yourself and those thoughts that we have. Because granted, me and you might bump heads. I think we think a lot alike. You're gonna have to learn that the shit that you saying, you usually use that as a weapon, and you can't use it in a relationship.
I mean, I know a nigga right now who talk
That sounds
reckless
just
as
like
fuck.
us.
I know a nigga who
like
talk reckless as fuck. Reed.
I don't know
real,
that nigga.
no real shit though. I
Reed.
had to learn that. I had to learn that in this relationship. Like a lot of shit that I used to say that I was normal and like cool with. Nigga, that my words are my weapon, and I ain't gonna lie. I
I
don't
feel
have
you
to
on
put
that.
hands up or nothing. And
I
you
feel you on
learn
that.
that you use that because that's our defense mechanism. We pride ourselves on not putting hands on a woman, but
Correct.
goddamn,
But we put
Some of
words
us.
on them. We put words
yeah,
on them.
them
Because
words will fuck
I
them up
always
way
feel
more
like
You
than
know
anything
what?
women's
else.
opinions are not as intrinsic as they believe they are. They're just something that they heard and they just follow through with it. But if you follow down their logic path, you'll be able to convince them most
I
times.
mean, we go into the controversial things that could possibly get us canceled. I think that they do believe them, but I think they believe them for the wrong reason. I think they believe them because they think this is how it should feel or this is how it should be done. And they don't think about the whole 360 spectrum, which is
You're
it's
saying the
not
same thing I'm
necessarily,
saying.
I know, but I'm stealing it and
He's
spinning it
stealing it.
better.
Sex.
Okay.
God
I'm
damn.
stealing it and spinning it better. I'm giving you the white people light, which is thank you, Darky, for coming up with that. Let me just put a little. Oh, I got that whitewash on it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's get out of here.
No, I mean
But
I feel where you coming from, man. But I didn't date women with kids because like I ain't never want to be their stepdaddy. But the situation cool, kinda. You feel me? But you know what I mean? It's mostly because I'm attracted to the mama more so than I've been attracted to other mamas. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's a really
but
thing
I'll
but
for
make
that's
me.
fine.
sacrifices.
But
That's
no,
that's
no
lit.
real shit. I get that because like like I said, if you told me you had a kids, I ain't even fuck with you. I ain't even look at you. Like I ain't give a fuck how fine you
Yeah,
was. I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
But
exactly.
Damn.
eventually you get to a stage where you meet a woman that you really want to fuck with and she got kids. And you gotta
Or
make
you
that
meet a
fucking
woman
executive decision.
who completely destroys that narrative of like she has kids,
That
but
too.
like she's got a baby daddy who actually is in the picture, is taking care of his shit, and he takes a kid off of her for a week.
Low
So you can actually like bond with her for a week. You're like, oh wow, this is nice. And then even sometimes where you do have interaction with her and the kid, it's actually copacetic because the kid isn't one of those who needs attention because the kid is like, I'm used to letting my mom or dad or whoever have their other significant other, so they're cool with it. They're not like one of those kids who like, oh, as soon as you come over, the kid is being a bitch.
I
Nigga,
low
who's
key
in the
want
front
to.
gate?
I don't know, man. But look, we don't want to witness a crime. Let's keep talking. I low key want to give Black Libertarian her information because her ass is in McDonough, but nah.
Nah, that's too far. That's outside my window, bro. I don't head south. I only head north or west. I
Oh,
don't go up.
I think
I
you
don't,
like look.
You can hand that information to the writer. I mean, he's single too.
Hey, look, like I ain't gonna say her name, but she's a good chick. But that youngest nigga,
see,
I'm
I,
just saying,
I wasn't gonna
you
be his
always look
daddy.
out for
I
your
wasn't gonna be his
boys.
daddy, dog. Like, look, that's just
Yeah.
all I was saying.
I remember, man. I remember these motherfuckers used to
Because
fuck
you
with
was
me
trying to
because
be
I
daddy.
dated
I'm
women.
like, I ain't trying to
hmm
be daddy. Oh, I'm good.
Hey, man, I was a good
I
Bro,
know
daddy.
you
you
were
are
a good
There's
stepfather,
nothing
but
wrong
that's
with
the
that
a
though.
problem. You wasn't trying
stepfather.
to be stepfather. You were
Stepfather.
trying.
Hey, ain't no stepfather now.
I said
I ain't no
Stepfather.
stepfather
stepfather.
I
I
now.
said
said
step.
step.
Yeah, I
It's a
No,
know.
I ain't no
stepfather.
step.
You
No,
a piece of
Stepfather.
shit.
I ain't no stepfather. What made me a
No,
Because
stepfather?
you
definitely not
trying to
Explain
act
that.
like you
stepfather.
was just as much as a dad as anybody else, but the difference is you can leave them.
No, that's not a stepfather.
Yeah,
That's called a
but
part
if I
father.
but wait a minute though. But wait a minute though. Like, what am I? So you mean to tell me I'm supposed to date this female and
You
not
don't
accept her
accept them
children?
until you
You
don't
know what I'm
accept them
Hey,
saying?
until
Like,
you're gonna
Arms,
accept all of her because you're wasting your
Arms,
time.
you know this nigga, longer than me,
Exactly.
man. But look who you
Look,
asking.
I know that's all of her, and just like yeah, but it's still at the
What
same
I'm
time.
saying,
The point I'm trying to make is like I'm not. See, if I meet a female and I'm talking to her, we start to bond, and she tells me, oh, I have a child or
woman.
kids or whatever, and I see that the kids, woman, whatever, and I see that her kids ain't like how DJ Allmight was saying. Then it's okay, cool. I could deal with this. So I've had relationships where the kids are good, great. And I had relationships where I had to whip their kid.
Oh, you beat
It
no
is what it
niggas
is.
kid?
Saying
Yeah, he beat
man,
he
bro?
beat the
Like you
kid.
doing
yeah, I
way too
beat your
much.
kids.
Oh,
I mean,
goddamn,
Nigga like I will beat
I
your
mean,
children.
I mean,
you're welcome.
and I had a situation before. I think I told you about this before, Reed, where
You
this
sure you want
I
this on
was
the
I was talking
podcast?
to this
I'm not
this
beating
chick.
nobody
Yeah,
else's kids.
Okay,
yeah, it's
all right,
fine.
go ahead.
She had three kids, and of course the youngest was the son, and he was just bad. Like he would be jumping on the cow, spilling milk, throwing food, blah blah stuff like that. And I'd be like, yo, he neneeds discipline. I don't want to whip my kids. I don't believe
Then you
in
leave
that.
her
Blah
ass
blah.
there
And
with
I'm
her
like,
goddamn kids.
well, and I said, all
Toxic
right,
Reed is right.
you know what I'm saying, but again, I said, listen, I feel you on that, but at the same time, sometimes you got to speak that language, say, because right now he's not, I'm not saying he needs to fear you, but he needs to understand like this
You the
shit can't
parent.
fly. So I was like, if right now, you being who you are and being all sensitive and stuff, he needs to be disciplined. So if you want me to be that person to do that, I will do it. And she says, nah. And of course, she just couldn't take the shit no more. She was like, look,
his ass.
since you're going to be a person that's part of my life,
Where's she at
so
now?
I'll let you handle that. And I was like, cool.
I'm talking
Marietta.
about where's she at in your life?
She out of his life.
I mean, but listen though. I disappeared from that situation for a whole nother reason other
What
than
I'm
that.
saying is
For a
you shouldn't
whole
take
nother
that
reason.
upon
Not,
She
yourself
want her
unless you're
kids.
gonna take it all. That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't agree with it because you were being.
no, I took it. I was if she wasn't if she didn't have that one issue that I was telling you, you probably don't remember that I told you about before. That I probably
What I'm
probably
saying
would have
Probably
is
would
stayed.
have
this.
married her.
But
Well, he couldn't.
yeah, I probably would have married her. Well,
He
I
couldn't.
couldn't because of other
That's
reasons.
a
She
But
still
convers.
married
That's a
him.
I
Oh
mean, it
my
could have went
conversation
god.
away.
that's a conversation needs to be had too, because there are niggas that marry because they feel like they obligated to,
If you marry her,
and
you definitely are obligated to. But if you're dating her,
no,
you are
no,
not.
no, they
No, no,
marry
no, no.
out
Yeah,
of
That's the
yeah.
first
obligation.
thing they talk about in premarital counseling is if you are coming here because somebody got knocked up, marriage is not for you.
Yeah,
You do not need to marry a girl because you got her knocked
tell
up.
you off
Like,
the bat. Like, no,
exactly.
just because they
I think
y'all have
our
a baby
community
don't mean
needs
it.
more of that. but that's
The reason for that read is that is a weak pillar for a marriage to stand on. Because as you
Yep.
can see with our parents' generation and knowing enough of our single uncles and aunts, that is not enough to keep a nigga around. That is not enough to make a nigga be faithful. That is not enough to make a nigga come
he'll
home.
stay around, but he ain't gonna be faithful.
But I'm saying if the nigga ain't coming home, then the kid eventually pick up on the fact that, hey, where's dad? Like, I know for your dad and for my dad, like, and for Armstead's dad, we saw our dad work. Like, we knew when our dad was coming home. Like, it's like, oh, that nigga hitting a double today. Oh, that nigga's hitting a triple. So, he ain't gonna be home for a day and a half. Like, you knew that. But if a nigga just like fucking around, kids pick up on, like, kids are way smarter than we give them credit for. And they pick
Can I
up
ask a
on that
question?
dynamic.
Every
Go ahead.
nigga comes home. You
Is
a
this
dog,
is
come home.
this gonna make the episode?
Yeah, it's gonna make the
Mm,
episode as long as it's not
you just tell us
I
where to
mean,
stop at.
no. Just tell us what part you don't want in.
No, all right, got you. Because yeah, my fuck my dad. I don't care. My stepdad,
Oh, you
my
want that in
stepdad.
the episode, or you don't
This
want it in
nigga
the
Yes, I
said he
do.
love
Fuck that
his
nigga.
he
No,
love
no,
his
no, no. I
stepdad.
love.
Fuck his dad.
Yeah, yeah. My biological. Fuck that nigga. He died of cancer when I was like 28. Fuck that nigga. I don't care. I got my
Controversial statement.
stepdad. My stepdad. I talked about him all the time. Like the nigga literally tried to play me like so many times. Like even when I had my stepdad and reached out, this nigga pulled. He hit me with the okie doke. Like I don't want to confuse you. You know your mom's doing a good job, nigga. I am 17. I know who is and who isn't. I'm just trying to find out why the fuck I think the way I think and why the fuck I'm the way I am. And I look just like you. Like when you, the thing
Can I
is,
ask you a
a
weird
lot
question?
was that.
That Will Smith moment, did it touch you?
No, it didn't. Not really.
Why he don't
I
want
thought
me,
Will was a
man?
bitch. I thought Will was a
Why
bitch
he
for that.
don't want me, man?
We
But
fucked
low
up,
key,
man.
I felt kind of mad because I work in a warehouse environment, and when I come down to the floor to go check on my people, I wear a white not white, I wear a beanie and shit like that. And I was like, I went to the bathroom, I looked, I was like, God damn, I look like the nigga that left Will Smith. Like, God damn, I gotta get up out of here. But no,
Let me
real
leave
talk,
now.
man. I ain't gonna lie. That that Shaq said it the best, man. Like he said, I never knew my biological father because he didn't bother. That's real shit. I don't care. I met my dad when I was a kid, and like, cause I had a kind of relationship with that side of the family, except him. But the thing is, I have a lot of resentment because only several relatives fucked with me as a kid. They sided with this nigga, and I'm a whole kid. So yeah, I'd say fuck that nigga, man, because I fuck with niggas that step up and actually be a father if they're the biological dad.
What I'm saying
So
is, when do you do it? I guess I wasn't telling him not to do it.
it
I
has
was
to
like,
feel
you're doing
organic.
it
It
too
has to be
early.
organic. You have to be
Correct.
organic. It has to feel natural. Like that's the best way I can say it. Like if shit, next thing you know, you realizing you've been with this family for X amount of months, days, weeks, whatever the fuck it is, and shit is what it is. It's like, yo, this feels natural, rather than feeling obligated because this woman's a single fucking mom and needs somebody.
I think that's where he was at, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think that was the position for this, and I'm actually bullshitting Black Libertarian because
Because
I
you
don't
weren't
know,
around.
but I know. But the thing about it is, I think that's a good point. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the Everyday Black Men podcast. Follow us on Twitter at EVYD Black Men, Instagram at Everyday Black Men, and of course the Everyday Black Men Facebook page. Website coming soon.
Yay.
2020.
Oh.